Welcome, Chairman Chirali. We're happy to have you today.
Welcome, Joe.
And Mr. Gilberti, thank you for being with us. And
well, thank
Dr.
you.
Copeland,
Thank you.
Dr. Copeland joined. Okay, I think I'm going to call the meeting to order. It's a January 6th, 2021 meeting. Happy New Year to everyone. I'll begin with calling the roll. Dick Kunert.
Here.
Dr. Ed Copeland.
Here.
Danielle Angelari.
Here.
Dr. Bill Gorski.
Here.
Dr. Terry Giardini. I saw his name. There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, did you know?
I'm calling the roll and I just called your name. You're here. I see.
He's muted.
You're muted.
How about now?
You're good.
Okay,
You're
now
good.
you can hear me. Sorry.
That's okay. Dr. Julie Morris.
Here.
Tim Neighbors.
Here.
Linda Sandquist. Here. And then our advisory members, Wendy Larson Bennett
Present.
and Jay Ware. Jay usually joins, so I imagine, I have not heard that he is not going to. And then, of course, Jason Holcomb, our coordinator, and then myself, Mariana Abadi, present. So thank you again for being here. I did not get word of any public comment requests. Jason, did you?
No requests from me.
Okay. And today our agenda is really packed with action items. But the good news about our action items, we've all had time to review at length and give comment back to Jason, which is going to help us approve each and every one of the action items. But first of all, I'm going to need a motion for approval of the minutes from our 12/2/20 meeting.
So moved.
I need a second. Good.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Okay, any comments, any discussion? Okay, the minute meetings will stand as approved, but first of all, we need to have a motion for approval. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Okay, minutes are approved. The second action item is a 3-year strategic plan, which Jason sent to all of us, and hopefully you had time to review and got back to him as requested. So I am looking for a motion if anyone wants to do so, to approve.
I'll make that motion, Aaron.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second it. Julie.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Morris. Any discussion about the strategic plan? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay. Any opposed, same sign. So the 3-year strategic plan has passed, which is, I want to credit the work to Jason. He has done a marvelous job pulling together all of our goals for the next 3-year plan. So we'll move on then to a very important part of the agenda, and that is our program year 2022 notice of funding opportunity, which will be going out on the 13th of this month. So I will need a motion to approve our notice of funding opportunity.
Motion. Okay.
Okay, Dr. Giardini, and I need a second. And Tim Neighbors, thank you, Tim. Any discussion about our notice of funding opportunity? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. So our notice of funding opportunity has been approved. And again, credit to Jason for pulling this together. This was a huge endeavor. And it's exciting because this will be going to the public to notify them of the proposal opportunity and all of the instructions. I mean, it's just a beautifully detailed funding notice and something that we can all be very proud of. A lot of hard work has gone into this in the very few months that we've been in existence. Moving on to the program year 2022 grant application. And again, I'm going to need a motion for approval. Dick Kunert. I need a second. Tim Neighbors. Any discussion? Wow. Hearing none. All those in favor of the 2022 grant application, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. So the grant application has been approved. Now, the next agenda item is the program year 2022 grant review rubric, which was discussed at length at the last meeting and also sent to everyone with the final. And so I'm going to need a motion for this to be approved.
So moved.
Okay, Linda Sandquist, a second. Dr. Copeland. Any discussion? Hearing none, we will then, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. All right. And the number 6 on the agenda is the program year 2022 disqualification list. This is, of course, for entities that would not be allowed to apply. And so I do need motion for approval for this distribution list. Dr. Gorski, I need a second. Any discussion? Dick Kunert was the second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the disqualification list, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. And the—
Can I ask a question?
Oh, you certainly can.
I've got to think about how I want to say this. This is not an objection, so I don't want anybody to think it is. I have a question though. I was surprised to see, and perhaps it was my not reading things carefully enough. I was surprised to see that organizations that we are affiliated with, but not necessarily working for, were also disqualified from that. Do those, and in my particular instance, I was surprised, for instance, to see that Alignment Rockford was disqualified because I sit on their operating board. I guess maybe I just wanted to make that comment and ask if they know that, or if there should be any information going out to them. Did that surprise anybody else? It's really just a general comment and not an objection, but a comment.
Right. If you recall, during our discussion last time of this, I sat on the Carrie Lynn board. It's a 501c3 board, but I notified them because they're, with my participation, that would also deny them the opportunity to apply. It does not mean in the future, if for any reason they want to apply, then you can remove yourself from that board. But it is ethical considerations if we're a member of a board that is applying for our funds. That's what disqualifies us.
Okay, and I understand that. I guess my other question would be, and do we, if for instance, and I'll just use Alignment Rockford, if they wanted to be a partner with somebody else and have somebody else be their fiscal agent? Are they allowed to do that? Or in your case, like, and I know you removed yourself from that board, but can they be a part of a group that gets the money? I'm just looking for clarification. And again, also, you know, I should do the same thing, Mary Ann, as I should let those organizations know.
Yeah, that's what I did. I mean, I had another conversation with NAMI because I'm on their board and they don't intend on applying for this year for sure. But I wanted them to know because I'm part of the leadership and I, you know, so that they could very well, you know, let me know that they have an interest in applying, and then I would have to remove myself. So that's how it works.
Okay.
So I think, and I think that was the message we tried to, you know, at least convey to everyone, that if you are on a board, you know, there's still time. You know, if they show an interest that, you know, you could withdraw in time for them to apply. But it is, you know, part of
Okay.
bylaws. Yeah.
And I just want, Marianne, I just want to also clarify, I think the purpose of the language in our bylaws was to make sure we were focusing on transparency and making sure the community understood we weren't going to put ourselves in a position of even the appearance of a conflict.
That's right.
You know, and so that's why this is so very important. I think, you know, we can revisit it certainly and redraft our bylaws, but I think at least for this initial year, let's see how it goes and see what happens. And, you know, we can always rethink. But at the moment, the aim is to make sure everyone understands we don't have a horse in this game, right?
Yeah. Right. And I think we did a lot of researching in terms of other mental health boards throughout the state. And actually, they're very, this is very strictly upheld and has been a part of their bylaws since, you know, they were formed. So, you know, we agreed on our bylaws.
Yeah, and like
now,
I said, really just a question, not,
I know, I agree.
not
Linda,
an
and that's
objection
good.
at all.
I agree, and I think it's important to talk about it and, you know, to discuss. So, the other,
Dr. Gorski had his hand up.
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see Dr.
Oh,
Gorski.
Mary Ann, I was muted. And I remember this discussion exactly as we're talking about it, but I don't remember, did we ever talk about recusal of us on this board from any, or have other mental health boards done it that way, where you recuse yourself from the evaluation process, the voting process? I understand that could theoretically create not an odd number of people voting, but I don't remember that we ever discussed that. Was it discussed and missed?
I don't think we did discuss an option because our bylaws state it so clearly, and you know, the bylaws were passed. So we revisited this because we are letting out these proposals and we wanted to clarify for our own board members. So, you know, it is something in the future that we can go back and look at and talk about, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because that, you know, and I don't know that Jason, maybe you know more in terms of the recusal, if you know.
Yeah, my recollection is that there was some discussion of recusals, but that was being differentiated from this tier of disqualified organizations. That recusals would be situations in which you may have some type of other relationship with an organization where you're not an employee of theirs or on their board, but you feel for some reason, based on some type of other affiliation, that it would be best for you not to review their application or be in discussion on that particular application, that you would be able to recuse yourself. But that this particular component of organizations being disqualified was really a best practice being established from other mental health boards who pretty much all adhere to this.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? If not, the last action item is the Winnebago County Mental Health Board funding policy. And again, I would need a motion for approval. Go ahead, Dick Cooner, and do I have a second? Dr. Giardini. And any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you, and that our funding policy has been approved. Moving into our one discussion item, and I'm going to let Jason brief us on this. It is a grant seekers meeting, and maybe you want to, just for our guest purposes, enlighten them as well as us, Jason.
Sure. I'll actually just briefly review the timeline of kind of the next steps here, and then we can talk about if there's essentially anything that anyone feels needs to be included in the grant seekers meeting that I have not already outlined. But really, in terms of next steps, based on the approvals that were just made, there would be a release of notice of funding opportunity along with a press release and the release of the strategic plan, which can go out tomorrow. Following that, there will be a grant seekers meeting, which will be pre-recorded and posted on the Mental Health Board's YouTube page on January 13th, so a week from today. That will also make applicants essentially aware of the key documents and the key information from those documents, as well as how to register and open up the grant portal and begin their grant applications. Since we are not doing a live grant seekers meeting where applicants would be able to ask questions, we will schedule Zoom meetings that will take place on January 20th and January 27th, in which applicants can register for and they can have an opportunity to ask specific questions about the grant applications. Aside from those information sessions, grant applicants are being asked to send emails or any other technical questions they have about the grant application to the info@mentalhealth web account, which is forwarded to my email account, so I get those and I can respond to those in coordination with Marianne and other board members as necessary. The application would then close on February 24th. As is outlined in the notice of funding opportunity. There would then be an application review period, which would essentially go through April 14th, but as we've previously discussed, the main time for board members to review will be during the month of March. There are, at the regularly scheduled April board meeting, there will be a presentation of evaluation scores and some discussion about which proposals might be funded, and then a final vote will be taken in a special board meeting taking place the following week on April 14th. So that would then lead to funding agreements being worked out with each of the proposed applicants, and then leading into award announcements and an actual funding cycle, which is intended to start on June 1st. And go through the end of May 2022, which is the reason for a program year 2022, although that kind of seems far out right now. This funding cycle will actually be going into 2022. So with that being said, what launches all of that is the grant seekers meeting. And so that will be kind of a key presentation to give organizations the information they need. Of course, we published a lot of pages and a strategic plan and a funding policy, and we'll want to highlight some of those key components. So I've created a brief outline of what might then turn into a presentation for this grant seekers meeting, essentially covering an introduction to the Mental Health Board, key components of the notice of funding opportunity along with the timeline that was just presented, key components of the strategic plan, specifically highlighting the community support system program, the priorities, the 6 priority areas, 4 of which will be highlighted in this particular year, and the following 2 which would go into effect in the next program year. The intended outcomes and target populations that go with each of those priority areas. I think it's important, because this is the first year of funding, that there then be some reference to the funding policy, and maybe highlighting some key components of the funding policy that directly relate to how the mental health board will fund and make decisions. And then really then trying to get people comfortable with the grant portal, showing them how to get onto it, how to register, what the different sections of the grant application are, what the different questions are within those sections. Then showing the grant review rubric, how the grants will be evaluated, and then ultimately then trying to connect them with the question information sessions so that they can register for those should they have questions. So my question for all of you is there anything that you feel would be critical to applicants understanding and knowing that maybe has been left out of that outline, or that you feel should have some extra emphasis within that?
I think we will find out things to add for clarification purposes after the first grant seekers meeting, because that they will enlighten us as to what clarification, further clarification is needed. I think it's hard to, what you've outlined for us today is, I think, you know, more than I would have even considered. So I don't have any further suggestions at this point in time.
You're really very thorough in all the documents that you've developed, Jason. So I mean, that sounded like a terrific overview.
Agreed.
I have a question.
Linda. Yes.
Jason, do you need anybody else to record that with you, or will you be doing it by yourself, I guess is one of my questions. So actually I have 2 questions, so I'll let you answer that first.
Absolutely. I've asked Mary Ann and Dick to participate, and I think if other board members wish to participate and take components of that, that would certainly be helpful.
Okay, and then my other question was, and I apologize if I missed this, how is this going to be publicized to the public? I actually had someone from a nonprofit agency reach out to me yesterday via email, telling me that they had heard about it and they wanted to make sure that they got an application. I did not take it upon myself to send them an application. I said they will be available. So again, I apologize if I missed that, but Jason, if you could maybe remind us, and maybe if we have consensus about whether we should be sending that out to interested agencies, or whether we want them, you know, just to direct them to our website, what it is that we want to do with that.
Tomorrow, a press release will go out, and all of the key documents, including the notice of funding opportunity, the 3-year strategic plan, and the funding policy will be posted on the Mental Health Board's website. So I think at that point, that would be the key information to give people. And then the notice of funding opportunity will have on it the links and the key dates so that they are able to keep an eye out for the grant seekers video when that gets released, and then ultimately connect them to the portal. Linda, that does probably bring up a good thought in my mind that maybe we should also on the website, when the application becomes available, have a direct link to the application portal so people aren't
Right.
only finding that through the video, that there's a quick reference to it. So I think I'll make sure to add that to the website.
And Jason, we had an original distribution list based on our environmental scan. Are we going to be emailing all of the participants, you know, that we had in our data gathering, or not? I didn't know if we were gonna do
Yes,
that.
I apologize for not mentioning that. We do have, so with the purchase that the mental health board made with MailChimp, actually that ended up being free, so I apologize, there was no purchase involved, but there is a list of agencies that had either been previously contacted through the environmental scan or who have since requested to be notified of updates. So an update will also go to all of those agencies through the mailing list.
So Linda, if it would probably be good if you just sent the name of the inquiring party to Jason, and so it can be added if they're not already automatically included.
Okay, I'm happy to do that. And are we suggesting then that maybe that's what all of us board members should
Yeah,
do
I
if
was gonna
somebody
say
reaches
that
out?
if, right, and I have done that because I've received a lot of questions and I've just referred them to Jason so that they can be on our master list.
I am happy to send stuff to Jason, so.
I will get any of those agencies requested updated and added to the list.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion or questions regarding the grant seeker meetings? All right, we do not have an action item for that. So moving on, we're really buzzing through our agenda, which I anticipated because of all the work done previous and calls from Jason to each board member, which I think was a lot of work for him, but really and truly, thank you for doing that and following up and getting all the input that you received.
It was my pleasure, and I appreciate all of the thoughtful feedback from board members that went into reviewing documents and making really thoughtful comments. Thank you all.
Yeah, a lot of work went into this. So moving on to other matters. I do not have a list for other matters. Is there anyone that has any other matter to bring up at this point in time? Tim?
I know previously I had volunteered to be the FOIA officer, and I was gonna see if Linda wanted to reconsider doing it because with COVID going on, we lost one of my partners at work. Well, he didn't pass away. He's just very, very ill. I haven't had time to fill out the FOIA application or training. So I was wondering if someone else wanted to take that part on.
Yeah, I can certainly do that. I would need a little bit of guidance in telling me exactly what I need to do.
Okay.
I know Dr. Morris had offered to be the consultant, given that she held.
Oh, that she already has it? I'm very happy to let Julie do it then.
Oh, no, she wants to consult. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
I can do it. I can do it.
That's
Okay.
perfect.
And you should know, this is a good moment. I had a discussion with Jay Hanley yesterday. He indicated that he did think that the state's attorney's office could provide some guidance to us. And I think when it comes to stuff like FOIA, either Andrew or John Gilberti certainly would be resources if you need guidance in what to do and what not to do and so on.
Well, that sounds good to us, right? I think we appreciate that. So, Dr. Morris, welcome. New job here. Being superintendent isn't enough now. Okay. Any other matter that you need to discuss or bring forward to the board?
I just wanted.
Marianne,
Oh,
Marianne, I just wanted to thank all of our support folks and guests on the call. I just wanted to reassure the chairman that we've never had a meeting this short, Chairman. If you think that we don't meet for I'd refer you to last month's minutes where I think we were 2 minutes shy of a 2-hour meeting. So
All of our meetings have
us.
been that. Yeah, we're
We,
sparing you. We're
a lot of
sparing
work
you.
has gone into what you saw today. So
Yes,
you're working hard, Joe.
yeah, it's a culmination of all these months and excitement here.
Mary Ann, my curiosity was whether or not the chairman had any questions that he wanted to.
Yeah, I would love to hear.
Well,
And congratulations to you and welcome.
Thank you. I've been keeping up to speed with watching your meetings, the recordings of them. So I've been kind of up to speed on a lot. I do have several questions, but I think I'll refrain from that at this moment because I would like to put them together a little bit better in my mind. 'Cause
Sure.
I'm getting some calls from constituents, some other stakeholders. So definitely I will be getting back to you on that. But keep up the great work.
Anytime.
You guys are doing a
Anytime.
great job. Honestly, this is much needed in our community.
Oh, it
Much
is.
needed.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much.
Anything I can do to be of service too, please let me know. We have a lot of buckets in this county that I'm trying to unravel and tangle a lot of things going on. So appreciate you guys.
We're trying to keep the mental health piece alive and well so that it'll make it easier for you to unravel the buckets. So
Yeah.
hopefully. So.
And I know Jay Hanley, our new state's attorney, he's got his hands full too. So we have a good team over here with Pat Thompson and our new CFO.
I
So
know, and
I'm
welcome.
very
to you.
excited about it.
Yeah,
No complaints.
no complaints. Well, that's wonderful.
Well, and if I could just add in that theme, I was invited to a meeting that I think was maybe convened by the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, something called the Sequential Intercept Model, which is, I guess there's some funding for this project. And what's amazing about it to me is it's the intersection of mental health, criminal justice, and substance abuse. And they are taking, I think, a different tack from what the Mental Health Board is taking. But I do see this as extraordinarily complementary to the work that we're already doing. I did talk to Marlena Docken this morning, and as they proceed in their process and get ready for the workshop that they hope will happen later this year in our community, they may make a request to our board for the potential sharing of some of our questionnaire underlying materials to help them understand already what the needs and gaps are that we discovered. But that's for another day, and you'll hear from them if they decide they want that. And I know Jason and Marlena have had conversations. So, but I think it's very exciting, very much a part of what we're already doing, but a much narrower focus.
Ms. Chairman, can I address?
Oh, sure, Michael.
Thank you. Yeah, just for clarification, so to kind of head off confusion, Marlena Docken is a Regional Planning Council employee as well. And so the CJCC, as Ms. Bennett brought up, is a committee that's chaired by Chief Judge Doherty and the Chief of Police of Rockford, the U.S. Attorney, the State's Attorney, the Sheriff of Winnebago County. A number of public safety stakeholders sit on that committee. Loyola University is the research partner to it, and it has been a program that the Regional Planning Council has been running for almost 5 years now. It started with a grant from State of Illinois and ICEJA. So our goal was for Jason to work with all of you to figure out how best to coordinate the information sharing between this body and that body. And we'll, Wendy, I appreciate it. And if you can participate, that would be great. But I just wanted to be clear when we talk about conflict of interest, that everybody's aware that that's a different complementary RPC activity. And I trust Jason to be able to, field marshal it.
Yeah. Thank you for the clarification. We appreciate it. Any other discussion?
Move
Okay.
adjournment.
Okay, I need a motion for adjournment. Dick, made the first, any second? Oh, okay, Terry Giardini. We have a first and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Well, we will see you next month for sure. And thank you, visitors, for in any time you would like to jump on. We would value, your input and questions, and we want to keep that communication open and clear. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Good meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We all love the shortness.
Yes, have a great
Okay.
week, everybody.
Yeah, you
Okay.
too. Happy New Year. Bye.
Thank you.